Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar. It's fantastic to have you with us. Hopefully, if you we sent out the wrong link, which was a bit confusing. So we originally had two links, one for a mobile version. So what we were doing was we testing out a mobile version of the webinar. We put that link out, then decided afterwards we weren't going to do that, deleted it, and sent out the wrong link. But we just emailed out about 15 minutes ago, so hopefully you've got the right link now. If you haven't come through our registration process and you have discovered us on YouTube or LinkedIn, which we are broadcasting to live now, please do use the QR code at the top of the screen, which will take you to the AIeducator.io, and you can register, and then you'll be in for a chance to win a book throughout this session. If you don't register, obviously I don't know who you are, and so you won't be in that competition. There is another competition running right now as well. So I know many of you for these webinars like to do a watch party. So if it's the time of the day when you're in school, some of you invite a few of the teachers into your classroom, get together, watch the webinars together. If that is you, let us know in the chat if you're doing a watch party. And what I want to do is I want to select one of the watch parties and send you all a copy of the new book, The Educator's AI Guide 2026. So please do that for us. We've got an amazing lineup for you. We're going to be talking with ScreenPal. I know many of you are huge fans of ScreenPal already. Some of you are here to discover who ScreenPal are. We're gonna explore it. We're gonna get through it together. But what I want to do first, like we do with a lot of these webinars, is I want to get to know who these people are. And I think in a world where there are so many ed tech solutions, there are so many bits of software for your classroom, I think one of the priorities for a lot of teachers and a lot of leaders who purchase these tools is actually, who are the company? What kind of motivates them? What's their intent? What are they hoping to achieve with what they're doing? And so we're gonna spend about 10 minutes with the CEO, Matt, and we're gonna ask him some of those questions and get to know the company. So I'm just gonna bring Matt in here to join us. Hey, Matt, good to see you.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, so whereabouts in the world are you joining us from today, Matt?
I am in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, nice. I've been to Seattle twice in the last year, and absolutely love it. Are you in the downtown in the city, or are you
Close to downtown. Yeah, not far from the Seahawks Stadium, by the way.
Oh yes, yeah, I know it well. That's amazing. Last time I was there, we hired. I was speaking at a conference, and my family came over, joined me. We hired a camper van, an RV, as you guys call it, and we went out into Washington State and saw some amazing places. Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, it's really beautiful for sure.
It is, and it's great to have you with us to talk about ScreenPal. And some of our listeners will know ScreenPal from its previous name, which was Screencast-O-Matic. Could you just give us a bit of information about kind of what directed you to have a rebrand and go down that path?
Yeah, for sure. So it's been quite a journey. When we first started, the first thing we built was a screen recorder, and the whole premise was to make it easy to use and affordable. And those are still values that are core to what we do today. Educators were our first large audience, and over time they started asking for new capabilities. So we kept building. We improved the screen capture product. We added a full editing suite. We did hosting, sharing, and collaboration platform. We added a suite of interactivity tools, including a full quizzing app. And lately, we've been layering in a bunch of scenarios that are powered by AI to improve teacher workflows. So the rebrand really came down to this. We started as a simple screen recorder, but we evolved into a full video creation and sharing platform. But the name Screencast-O-Matic still only meant one thing. And there were some practical issues too. It was hard to type. The hyphens caused a lot of confusion. There were a ton of mispronunciations. My favorite was Screencast-O-Magic, which if you search today, it still lands on us. So we did a bunch of research, and that's how we landed on ScreenPal. And ScreenPal really encompasses a much broader vision, but still maintains those tenets of ease of use and affordability. And when we went through this transition, we also launched an all-new design language and harmonized all our experiences so it's all seamless. So the rebrand is really about where we are today and where we're going in the future with really educators in mind.
Amazing. And yeah, it's good to know that story. And I bet there's probably people on the call now who are thinking, that's who they are. So it's good to clear that up, especially after going through such a transition. It'd be great to get to know and get really kind of, I suppose, get right into the practical quite early on. I know we're going to get really practical soon when Sarah and Ben join us, and we're going to pull up the tool and have a look at it. But how are educators using ScreenPal? Because I know the scalable video feedback side of this is really, really facilitating hybrid learning. Are you seeing educators running with this and really putting it to use?
Yeah, for sure. Video feedback's becoming essential in remote and hybrid learning. And a really good example of that is a study that was done by Dr. Martin Mell at Cal Poly. Faculty at Cal Poly felt that written communications and office hours weren't always an effective use of time. So they piloted asynchronous video communications using ScreenPal. And the idea was that students would create a video of their work, ask questions, and faculty would provide video feedback, almost like a two-way digital mentorship. And it was all recorded, so both parties could go back and review the conversation at any time, which provided better clarity and reduced the number of repeat questions from students. And so the results were pretty compelling. Students felt it was much more personal. One said it felt more like a counselor than a grader. Faculty felt that they could provide much more clarity. It was much more actionable, and it allowed students to do paced learning as part of this. So the ROI for teacher time is really about better quality per minute. Less time spent writing written communications that are one way or inefficient office hours, and more time kind of on human, clear feedback that could be done with self-paced learning. And it was really all enabled by a simple to use tool. Because if it wasn't simple, then it wasn't going to scale across the community.
Amazing. And I know that teachers are really finding it useful. I've haven't spoke to them, and we had Sarah at the Back to School Summit back in September of 2025, and it was amazing to see all the comments that were coming in there about how much teachers are using this. But I know that I suppose the teacher use of it is kind of one side of it, because I suppose the ScreenPal empowers students to use these tools as well, doesn't it?
For sure. And we're also seeing a lot of growth on the student side with creation. And we find when students create video, they become more deeply engaged, they can communicate more clearly, and they take more ownership of the learning process. And we're trying to help in removing friction in a few ways. One is ease of use, there's access, and then there's workflow. As we've discussed, the tools are intuitive and students are time crunched just like teachers. We offer both web-based and downloadable tools so they can be accessed across devices. And then students can create, share, and interact directly in the learning management system. So it's a natural part of the learning process. We also support kind of video response assignments that teachers used to rely on from flip tools. So a teacher sends out a prompt, a student creates a video, and that video is automatically uploaded to the teacher's channel. That channel has flexible privacy controls. And students can collaborate on projects using video feedback again. So that makes the project much more motivating and engaging. So on outcomes, we've got research that supports the impact. We've found that there's better outcomes on language learning and higher math scores in math classes when using ScreenPal as opposed to traditional methods. And we design with UDL in mind. So things like accessibility, access across devices, interactivity, self-paced learning, all allow the students to create and share content in a way that works for them, and yet the teacher still gets feedback on the learning process.
That's fantastic. And I know, because I talk about a lot when I'm working with schools about the assessment and the feedback process, and now that kind of we've got generative AI everywhere. I think it really shone a light on the fact that we've just taken for granted for decades that a student learns something, and then the way we assess that is that they write it down, and it's just kind of become the norm. And in a world of generative AI, that becomes very, very difficult, really difficult. In fact, I think to a certain extent, unless a teacher's standing over the shoulder of a student, it's become impossible, really. And so one of the things I talk about with schools is I talk about the 3 Ps of assessment. So we've kind of taken for granted the product, right? And we've done that. We've done that to death. And the fact that we always look to the product of what a student is creating, but actually there's the process and the performance as well. And I think in a generative AI age, we're probably going to have to start looking more at the process and at the performance of how they are demonstrating that knowledge. And I think video really, really comes in and really helps in that process. Like, students explaining their work, talking about their work is not something an AI can replicate, because an AI might help with the product, but a student actually talking through their process, their thinking process, how they came to a decision, and then also them maybe performing it in a way, maybe through a presentation or a collaborative conversation. So I love that you are making the video side of things more accessible for students there.
Yeah, we've actually taken those concepts and embedded video feedback throughout the platform. So you can add video feedback into comments, into assignments, and even individual quiz questions. So there's this two-way exchange going on. And you're absolutely right. AI is just an enabler of a process or workflow that has to work for the student.
Yeah, and are there any unexpected ways that, like, you're seeing educators or students using ScreenPal today that kind of surprised the team?
Well, just staying on that student theme, there's a bunch of them that are really interesting. For example, we've seen students run remastery classes for their peers to reteach concepts, and it's a really powerful peer-to-peer learning model, which improves outcomes because the student has to explain what they're doing. To your point on how schools are using this in the advent of AI, we have schools who have students submit written assignments, and then they also have a ScreenPal video alongside it. So they have to defend their thesis and the reasoning behind what they just submitted. This not only checks understanding for the student, but also protects academic integrity in the light of AI. We've got grad students, for instance, at Carnegie Mellon using ScreenPal to teach local K-12 students. Arlington Independent School District, the students there publish a newsletter through ScreenPal. So it's been great to see the platform expand behind just standard instruction to student voice and mentorship and peer-to-peer learning.
Yeah, that's amazing. And one of the questions I always like to ask is, what's the pain point? What is there something else that you're working on? Now, obviously, when I talk to kind of CEOs and founders like yourself, you don't want to give away what's coming next. But is there a specific pain point within how educators or students are using video at the minute? And I suppose, how are you looking to address that?
For sure, we're very focused on accessibility, and the pain point with accessibility. Well, we want to make accessibility fast, affordable, and scalable. And in 2025, we released a report on the state of video accessibility in education. And there were some really interesting findings from it. 57% of educators said they're increasing their use of video in the classroom. We know that video is a core medium for learning right now. But accessibility has not caught up. About 12% of K through 12 and 30% of higher ed educators say they caption most videos. And audio descriptions are way less. And when we look at the pain points, they're pretty consistent. It's time to create accessible videos, and it's also lack of training or support. And we really interpret that to mean it's not easy. So, and we know from our existing customers, if you try and scale this based on legacy solutions, there's a big cost barrier. So we've been really, really focused on that. And it's been a journey that we're really coming to fruition on here with today, you can automatically caption your videos in 140 plus languages. We have both automated and manual translations. We have text-to-speech, so you can localize in another language. We have admin tools, so you can apply these features across your entire video library. So what we want to do is make accessibility just a default for educators and not just a pain for every video they're publishing.
Amazing. Matt, let's bring Sarah and Ben in, and let's get to grips with the tool and let's see kind of what it can do for educators. So I'm just going to change the setup here. So we are going to bring in Sarah and Ben. Hey, Sarah, Ben, good to see you.
Hi.
Hey, Sarah, I need your screen. I think you must have stopped sharing it. So if you could share it again, that would be amazing. No, it's okay. Yeah, while we're doing that, Ben, that's great to see you. Whereabouts in the world are you joining us from, Ben?
I am from California, which means the office is tense this week, Dan, between Matt and myself, with Seattle playing the 49ers.
That means, as someone from the north of England, that means pretty much nothing to me.
This is like Man United Liverpool week, Dan. Let's put it that way.
Right. I get it. For me, that's more like Newcastle versus Sunderland, but yeah, I get it. Well, I'm glad that on the screen Sarah's in between you, so that might help. Sarah, good to see you. Sarah, we've met before you at the Back to School Summit back in September. Remind us, where are you joining us from?
Yes, so I am just outside of Augusta, Georgia. So the other coast. And on this coast, we do also like American football. But I will say that I am more of a college American football fan. So on the West Coast, people are more into NFL, and on this coast, we're a little more into the college football. I mean, we still have people like in the Northeast that are really into NFL, but I'm a bit more of a college fan. So I went to NC State and Appalachian State. So I like my Wolfpack and my Mountaineers are my two teams on this side of the U.S. So originally from North Carolina, but we're military, so we move all around.
Amazing. That's good to hear. Okay, so let's delve into it. So Sarah, we've got your screen. I'm gonna hand over to you, and I guess the rest of us are gonna jump in and out, and we'll go for it. So over to you.
Great, thank you. All right. So I'm really excited actually to have a little bit more time than I anticipated, because I get to show you guys even more of my favorite things in ScreenPal. But as you guys have shared where you're from, I've actually been adding the captions for the languages that are common in those countries, everyone who's in the webinar. So I'm excited to show you all of those languages here in just a minute too. But we actually just recently updated our homepage. So for me, when I log in, I can see the percentage of my videos that have captions. It's a little lower than I personally would like it to be, but we just introduced a lot of our AI features in the last couple of years. So some of those older videos, I haven't gone back and put captions on. So that's really great. And then from here, I can just click on this create button once I'm at ScreenPal.com and I'm logged in, and I can go on and click record screen camera. So I'm going to do that really quick just to show you what our recorder looks like, because I don't think we got to dive very deep into that when we were doing the back to school webinar. Let me open up my app. I'm not mirroring my screen anymore, so it's giving me a hard time here. But it will open the app, which looks like this. Oh, that is really big right now. Oh, she's thinking. There we go. Okay. So I would just click on record when I open the app here. It will launch my recorder. It's going to record anything that happens inside that frame.
Hey, Sarah, I don't think we see the app.
Oh, because it's a different window.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. I am going to stop sharing and then I'll start sharing again. And I will just share.
Don't worry, I'm like this all the time.
There we go.
Whenever I have to share my screen, I'm whether it's a tab, a window, a screen,
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. So
well, you know, smart me was like, I'm going to do something different and share just that screen, and like, bad decision. Okay, so if you'll reshare me, Dan, I should be sharing my entire screen instead of the window, so now we can see the recorder. Thank you, Matt, for pointing it out. All right, so I can just extend the borders of my boundary here, and then I can click on record. I can do my screen, my webcam, or both. I use a lot of both, but what's really cool for me, and see now it's using my FaceTime camera down there on my recording, but what's really great for me is I do a lot of screen and then I'll add my webcam later. So if you're like not having a good hair day per se, which not everybody has to worry about all the time, but if you're not having a day where you want to be on the camera, you can go on and record your screen and then add that camera recording later in the editing phase. We also have some draw and zoom controls here. We also have a canvas background feature that's relatively new, so that's really exciting. If you're just using a blank background and you want to maybe use your Apple Pen or your smartboard to draw on the screen as you're recording that instruction. And then once you're done with your recording, you can open it up in this video editing app that I have on my screen here. So you can also upload it immediately if you want to ScreenPal.com and run all of the amazing AI features that I'll show you in just a minute. So if you don't need to make any edits, that's okay too. You can just go on and open it right up in our hosting site. I'm going to click on this video that I have here. So one of my favorite things to use, which unfortunately I don't have time to go into, is actually our storyboard generator. So I made this in Stories. I used all ScreenPal stock media actually to create this as well. One of my favorite units to teach when I taught world history was the French Revolution. Revolutions in general, but especially the French Revolution, because I always joke with my students that I get hangry, and the French presidents were also hangry during the French Revolution. So shout out to my history teachers out there. But what you can do is you can add in all of these wonderful text boxes. So I'll just play a little portion of this so you can see what I did to the video. Oh, and I should have mentioned, you can tell it's not my voice. That's because I used AI narration from the script for this video. So if you're really in a time crunch and you want to make a video quickly, you can also narrate it using AI.
I don't think we're getting the sound, Sarah, just so you know.
Oh, that's okay. You can see the text boxes on the screen here. And actually the video that I'm going to share with everyone is the same video. So don't worry, you'll get the sound in just a second. But I've got my captions turned on for this one. Basically what I did was I just added in the image as my background. And then I added all of these text boxes to assist my students as they go through this 2-minute and 26-second video introducing them to the 3 estates during the French Revolution. So I added some of these additional features here. To add more of those, all you do is click into the timeline. You would click on tools, and then you can select any of these tools here. I pretty much live in the overlay section because that's where you overlay an image, a blur, you overlay a highlight, which is another one of my favorite features to really help students focus on that point that you're talking about in your slide presentation. If you're utilizing a slide presentation, it will darken the rest of the area on the screen. And of course, I love a text box and a video overlay as well. I also make a lot of GIFs personally, especially if you're in more of a training role and you're sending out emails or newsletters, or you're helping other educators utilize these new tools. You can speed up the entirety of the video and turn this 2-minute and 20-second video into a 15-second GIF with just a couple of clicks using that speed up option there. So there's a ton of features. We do actually have tomorrow a getting started webinar that will be a deeper dive into all of these editing features. So if you're interested in more on the editing features, I would definitely recommend that you pop into our getting started webinar tomorrow. And Ben, I'm sure, can share the link to register for that in the chat for me. And then once I'm done editing my video, I'm going to click on share. And this is going to publish to ScreenPal.com. We recommend that you publish to ScreenPal.com because A, it's free and unlimited, and free 99 is my favorite price. You can upload as many videos as you want to your hosting account. And then you can run our AI features, which I'm going to share with you in just a second, on all of those amazing videos. Okay, so I would click publish. Luckily, just to make sure that I don't run out of time, I've already published this video to ScreenPal.com. So once I go to my account, there's my video there, The 3 Estates, a rigid social structure in France. And I can click on the Manage button to utilize the AI features. So I'm going to click on Manage here. And I already generated AI for this video. If I had not already generated it, I would see generate title, captions, and summary for this video. So I would click that same gradient button with the little wand there to generate some AI magic, and it will generate my title, my summary, and then I've got my captions here. Now, once you click that button, it opens the door for you to generate captions in 140 different languages, probably more than that, 140 plus, I would say. And then you can also add text to speech in those languages. So let me share the link with you guys in case anybody wants to see that video really quick. I'm going to click on my share video tab here, and I'm going to copy that link, and I'm actually just going to pop it in the comments here really quick. So if anybody wants, oh, it's because it's a link, Dan, and I can't share it in the comments. But
okay,
what
Sarah, Sarah, if you send it to me in the private chat that you can see on the right hand side, I can post that for you. We got a question that Ben answered in the chat, but I'll just put it out there just so that everybody can see if they missed it. So we got a question: is storyboard an extra cost? So it must. This person must think it looks so good that you guys should be charging extra for that feature. But Ben has reassured us that it comes with all paid plan options, which is great news. Thanks for sharing that, Ben.
Yeah, and I believe you can even try one storyboard for free in our free plan as well. So definitely give it a try. I love our storyboard feature. It's one of my favorite things that I use in ScreenPal, especially as a former educator, because you can turn your slides into a story, which is great in my eyes. All right, so I did share that link with you, Dan. So if you want to share it out, you guys can see the video watch page. Luckily, I already have it pulled up right here so that we can all see it together. So this is what a student would see when I share the link to that video with them in my learning management system or in an email or anywhere that I want to share that URL. We also have an embed code option, so you can also embed it anywhere you would like. The same watch page here. So on the watch page, I've got a closed caption option. So I can see that I've generated, I saw we had some Swiss friends in here. We've got a friend from North Macedonia. So I went on and added Albanian and Macedonian. And I saw we had a friend from Nigeria. So I went on and added Yoruba as a language option here for the captions. So as a student, it will show me the captions in my browser's chosen language. So like if I have my browser set in French, then it will automatically choose French as my captions, but you can still change. So if maybe I am a student who is mainly learning in English, but is learning French as a second language, I can select French there. I'll select German just because I can actually tell you, knowing a bit of German, that this description is correct. So it is accurate, the summary here. It's an overview of the 3 estates, the social structure in France. So it does actually say what it should say there. And we've had quite a few friends in our webinars. Like I had an Italian friend one day who said that the Italian was actually really good and accurate. So that always makes us feel a little bit better hearing news like that. But I've also generated this in the in my chosen language. I've also added the text-to-speech narration in German as well. So if you don't necessarily speak the language that your students need, you no longer have to track down the English as a second language teacher, which is what I'd be doing frantically at my school to help her narrate the video in Spanish for my Spanish-speaking students. You can go on and add that narration, and they can immediately take in that instruction, and it makes everything immediately accessible for your students. So I'll press play, and hopefully my sound will work. Fingers crossed. Are we hearing German?
No, we're not getting it.
Okay. Well, that's why we shared the link in the comments. You guys can all hear it yourselves. If you open that link, you would just want to select that CC button there, and you can pick any of those languages that I added to the video as you guys were sharing where you were from in the comments there. And then also we now have audio descriptions. So I saw that one of our friends was really excited about having the audio description option there. So this, of course, will make this video accessible for any students that may have visual impairments. So it will literally describe the castle image that is here, the Palace of Versailles, and it will also say what is in that blue box there. So let me actually change it back to English for my own sake here. And I will go on and play with my audio descriptions turned on. So what's really great about this is that you can turn that AD on and off as needed. So if I, as a student, I personally cannot watch TV without the captions. My mother-in-law was very irritated by that when I turned the captions on her TV at Christmas and left them on, and then she had to call me and figure out how to turn off the captions. So audio descriptions really to us can help any student better comprehend visual information. So we're not, limiting it to 1 or 2 students. They can just click that button and then turn it on as needed. So you can see that it said audio description is playing. So it started with a wide courtyard view of a palace was the beginning of the audio description. And if I, as a teacher, want to see what that audio description is and make any changes, I can click back over here to my editing screen, and I can turn on that audio description button, and I can view those audio descriptions there in blue. So you can actually see it. You can shorten them if you want to. And again, those are AI generated as part of that AI generation process. So really easy to add and make all of your videos immediately accessible for everyone in your classroom. And then if I wanted to change the language here, I can click here. These are the languages that I added based on everyone that's in the webinar today with us. So I added Albanian, Arabic. I saw a UAE friend come in at the end. French, German, Macedonian, and Yoruba. And you can look, it's going to take me a second to actually scroll through all of the languages that are available here, which is really exciting.
Is Swedish in there? Somebody really wants Swedish.
Oh, yeah, I can add it really quick. It'll take a couple of seconds, but luckily this one is only, obviously the longer the video, the longer it takes for the captions to generate. But this one's only 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And my Swedish friend, if you access the link, you're just going to want to reload the page once my captions are done generating so that you can see those captions. So you can see how quick that is. And then I would just go in and I'll have the option once these captions are translated to add text-to-speech narration in Swedish as well.
Amazing. And, myself and Matt were talking earlier, and Matt mentioned accessibility within video. And I think sometimes when we think of AI right now, we get this vision of like all singing and dancing features, and are they actually needed, some of them? Are they just for show? But I think sometimes just some really, really powerful translation, some really powerful ability to, especially for people who are hard of seeing, like you say, to be able to describe what's going on. It's almost in a way unsexy, especially in a marketing campaign. But actually is the stuff that people really, really need, and the stuff that makes tools like this accessible to all of the students in the classroom, not just a few of them.
Yeah, but this is like your meat and potatoes, right? Like, it's not like your molecular gastronomy experience that maybe some other AI tools might offer, but it is the meat and potatoes that every teacher needs. And like I said, as a teacher, if this saves me from like every time I create a video, which is quite often, from having to track down another teacher to help me translate it, or, downloading my captions, running those through Google Translate, praying that those are kind of similar to the actual translation and that I'm not going to say something that shouldn't be said, then I can do that as well. And then since I added the Swedish just to show you how the interface looks, I would then click add text to speech here. So I have 3 narrator options in Swedish. You can also see if it was like English, for example, and that's spoken in multiple languages, or I saw we have some friends from Canada in the webinar. So the version of French that I chose is actually Canadian French for that reason. You can actually choose localized dialects of that language too. So for Swedish, I have Sweden, but if I was doing English, I could do Great Britain is what it says, or Ireland English, or even I saw Nigerian English, since English is one of the main languages spoken there as well. So, and then I'm going to click on generate, and it's going to generate the text-to-speech AI narration in Swedish too. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the audio descriptions are also in that language. So I don't have to also figure out how to translate the audio descriptions from English to Swedish. It's going to generate those audio descriptions in Swedish for my students too.
Amazing. We had a question from Rachel there. Will my students be able to choose which language they prefer to hear the audio as they watch the video, or will I, as the teacher, need to make a different video for each language?
So this is, I joke, it's like the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all. It's one link to rule them all. So it is one video link that you will share out with your students. And again, I kind of showed you the watch page there, which is just, I'm going to click on share video and copy this link. And I briefly mentioned embed. So there's your embed option if you want to embed it anywhere else. And then I'm going to just paste that link here. This will pull up my video. And again, this would be based on my students' browser preferences. So if I had students that had their browser set in Spanish, then it would automatically do the Spanish captions. But if they wanted to choose a different language, this is what they'll see. They would just select the CC button and choose that additional language. So I'll choose Swedish because that's the one I just added there. And then when I click on play, it will add, it'll have the text-to-speech AI narration in Swedish as well. And you can turn on and off that AD again, right? As a student, I can turn on and off those audio descriptions if it will help me understand what's happening visually inside of my video. All right, how are we feeling? Good? I think there's good feedback in the comments, so I'm excited about that.
Honestly, yeah, people are loving it. I think it's always a good sign when people are starting to ask kind of, well, how much do I need to pay for this? Because it shows that people are kind of thinking, actually, I need this. This is a really good tool, which is the type of questions we're getting, which is really good, because I think what you're showing is, like we said, is with just a few clicks, the values is obvious. And so yeah, this is great. Yeah, keep going, because I'm loving it.
And then the last thing that I wanted to share, that's another really exciting AI feature that is, of course, near and dear to my heart as a former teacher, I'm still a teacher. I'm just kind of like a teacher of ScreenPal users instead of a teacher of ninth graders. I'm scared that my 4-year-old will one day be a ninth grader. She's already sassy as can be. But I'm going to click on the Interaction Tools tab here. And what I'm actually going to do, now this is one of the, a little beyond, I think, the meat and potatoes that I joked about. But this is creating a quiz using our AI features. So I can actually click Create Quiz and then create a quiz again. And here I have the option to generate my quiz questions using AI. Now, as I'm sure, Dan, as I see, actually, I should say, in your newsletter, and I've listened to on your podcast, AI is wonderful, but AI can still make mistakes just like we do. So we want to make sure that we are reviewing these quiz questions, of course, but they give us a really good starting point as maybe a teacher who's short on time, right? For me, one of the things that I struggled with the most in my classroom assessment course, like when I was learning to be a teacher, was writing those answer choices, right? Like sometimes it's just a struggle to get 4 answer choices for a multiple choice question. So what's really nice about this for me is that it will give me some of those answer choices already. So you can see this is a 2-minute and 26-second video. So it generated 5 questions for me to use. These are completely customizable, and I can add additional questions to this quiz as well. So here, like at least here in the US, we typically do 4 answer choices for multiple choice. Although we do have a lot of students who have reduced answer choices as one of the accommodations on their individualized education plan. So this is nice that you can edit fully for those students. But I just clicked on the 3 dots and then edit. I can see that this is going to show at the 57-second mark. And then I can edit my question. So if I wanted to maybe add an additional answer choice here, I could say, I don't know. See, I always struggle. I'm even struggling in front of you guys with doing a distractor here. Maybe we do holding church services. Because if you know, the second estate is not the clergy, that's the first estate. Okay, so not the best, but I'm under the clock here. You can add a none of the above option, allow multiple answer selections. So this would be if you like a select all that apply question, you can do that. You can randomize the order of the answers. And this is my favorite like hidden gem in our quiz feature. And that's adding feedback to a question. So what I can do, if they answer correctly, they will see thanks for, I'll say paying attention, because again, I taught ninth graders. So thank you for paying attention today. And then incorrect answer could be, please click the rewatch button, because they do have a rewatch button option. Or I could say, go back to yesterday's slide presentation. I could even share a link that they could then copy and paste into their browser to go to a resource like directly from the quiz question to help them change their answer and remediate that learning right there on the spot. So I'm going to click on save there, and you can see it added my answer choice, and it also would add my feedback. And you can see what the students will see. Obviously, it's small here, but you see that little rewatch button there, so they can rewatch that portion of the material if they need to. So all of those are fully customizable. My other 2 favorite question types that we offer are poll and rating questions. So if you're trying to implement a little bit more social emotional learning with your students, or maybe you're trying to get them to learn metacognition and thinking about the way that they're learning, then you can add in these 2 ungraded question types. Maybe I do a rating at the end of the video, and I say on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how much did this video help you understand, and this is a terrible question, so I'm sorry, understand the 3 estates. Okay, and then I've got my scale of 5 hearts, smileys, or stars. I can allow the viewer to skip the question, but I want to make them answer everything because I taught ninth grade, which is 14-year-olds if you're not in the US system. And then allow optional comments. So I could say here, like, this would be maybe they want to comment about why they gave it 1 star. So I could say, please describe your rating. Okay, and then I would click on save, and now I've got that little rating question right there at the end of my video. So this could be something like, at the beginning, how much do you know about the 3 estates? And then at the end, how did this video on a scale of 1 to 5 stars help you understand the 3 estates and their influence on the French Revolution, right? So you can kind of have that little check-in with your students right there built into the video. So that's one of my favorite features to use as well. And then once I'm done editing my video questions, I would just click on assignment and settings here. And if you are taking this for a grade, I mention this because a lot of us will probably be grading these quizzes. I would recommend that you ask your audience to enter information prior to taking the quiz. And you do first and last name. And then because I taught 3 class periods a day, each one 32 students, that's about 96 kids that would be taking this quiz. I might put class period so that when I download that CSV, I can see the class period with the student's first and last name there. And then you can just copy this link here, and it's going to have those settings saved for you. And you can even be quick if you want to scan it with your cell phone. You can even scan the QR code and put that on your board and have your students scan the QR code and use their mobile device to get started on taking the quiz if you would like. Or you could download the QR code, like maybe you want to collect some information from the whole school, or you want them to watch a video on some rule changes that you made, or you want them to watch a video on, let's say, appropriate behavior at prom, right? Which is a large dance. Then you could have them have this kind of like included maybe in your announcements that you have scrolling across the screen on the TVs in the classrooms. That's what we had at the high school that I taught at throughout the day. And then students can just scan that QR code to access the quiz and view that information and complete that mandatory video requirement. Hopefully some of you guys got that. Scanned it.
I've scanned it. It's come up. It's working. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really impressive.
I love the QR code piece. Like that's one of my favorite little known features. I'm always like QR code, because I'm the person that like always has to put it through another system to generate a QR code. So I think it's lovely that it includes it right there. But yeah, and then of course you can embed this on a website too. So if you want to embed your quiz somewhere, you can embed that. If maybe you're making a unit of study and you want to embed multiple quizzes on one page, then you can do that too by clicking on embed in website here. And we do offer LMS integration. That is part of our team plans. So if it was a group that's a school or a district that wanted to utilize ScreenPal, then you can do LMS integration, including LTI 1.3. So it's really streamlined, and that also gives you the gradebook sync option too. And then once my students are done with the quiz, I can either do a results summary, or I can do individual results, which will list them by name since I required their first name, last name, and other there. Or I can see my results summary, which will give me charts based on the data. So if you're maybe doing something like, it's pretty common for middle schools here to do multi-tiered support strategies, and you're deciding who's going to be in a small group for instruction the next day, you can utilize these charts to decide, what do I need to reteach? What do I need to go back over? Who can be in a small group, maybe even doing the reteaching, right? So Matt had mentioned that in Arlington, one of our favorite use cases was student-led remediation. So then I can use this data to decide what students are going to reteach to my students that need that remediation. So there's so many different ways that you can utilize the data that you get out of this. All right. Hopefully
Fantastic.
too much. Hopefully not too much and just enough.
No, it's good. It was really good, and I think you really hit the right level of diving in and getting people thinking about those features. And just to remind everyone, there is a beginners webinar where you can kind of go back to the basics and follow Sarah along tomorrow. And the link is in the chat there. I'll put it back in a second so that it's top of the chat. We've had a few questions come in, which you know what, I keep reserving questions, and then Ben answers them in the chat. And I'm like, oh well, Ben's done it. Ben's been amazing throughout this webinar, so thanks for that, Ben. But I've picked a few which I think some might miss in the chat, or if someone's watching on YouTube and the question's been asked on LinkedIn, then they might miss it. So we've had a question which is quite a broad question, so maybe just one example. Are there opportunities to build in differentiation into this process?
Meaning differentiation of the questions, or
good question.
Differentiation for students, you know what I mean? Because I could see, I guess I could see it a few different ways. Like you could make different versions of the quiz based on who you need to differentiate for, right? So it's going to share one link for this quiz, but what I could do is I could duplicate this quiz if maybe I had students that needed, that maybe I have a group of students that have the same accommodation where they have reduced answer choices, then I could duplicate that quiz and make a version of the quiz for those students. So you could really easily just duplicate this quiz and then share the additional quiz with your students from there. Another way is you could add it to a channel. So over time, if you find yourself making, when I taught world history, we called it academic and honors students in the same class at the same time. So I was constantly making an academic version and an honors version, an academic version and an honors version of everything that I used in my classroom. So what you could also do is make a channel of those videos and have different channels based on the differentiation that you created to help your students. So just like you would make a playlist on any other site for videos, then you just make a channel on our site, and that will group all of those related videos together. And then what's really cool about channel is we actually have an option for students to record their own video in response to what you put in the channel. So they can go in and just record a video really quick, responding to what they learned while they watched the videos that are in that channel.
Amazing. And Terry, who I think probably speaks for a few people on here who have been using ScreenPal for a while now, wants to know if they can kind of retrospectively go back to their previous videos and add some of these language features.
Yeah, what you would want to do, as long as you're uploading, but you just need to make sure that you upload the video to ScreenPal.com, because a lot of our users who have been using ScreenPal for a long time don't realize what's available once you upload to ScreenPal.com. So you may be speaking about videos that you have in your app that you've edited over time. You're just going to want to upload that to ScreenPal.com, and once you upload, you'll have that same gradient magical button with the little magic wand there, and you can Wingardium Leviosa your way into having your quiz and your AI features done. Sorry, I'm a Harry Potter nerd. I'm a proud Hufflepuff.
And last one from Remy. Are there any fun new items being tested right now that we could see released in the near future?
Ooh, I'm gonna let Ben or Matt answer that one. I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm gonna.
Well, we don't have anything to announce, but yeah, in the next month or two, you're going to see a couple fun new things.
And we didn't show is some silence detection and filler word removal, as well as a AI script to video generation is also currently available.
Mm-hmm.
So want to click the create menu since you're there real quick.
Oh yeah.
You can see right there, there's a generate AI video tool. And then if you want to show them the filler word detection.
I'm going to do this one because it's a live webinar. So I know I've got lots of filler words in this one here.
While that's loading, Sarah, do the media files just because it follows up on what you were just saying. Do the media files need to be created in ScreenPal in order to take advantage of the translation features?
No, which is another lovely thing. That same create menu, and I do that a lot myself. You have an upload content option. So if you have a pre-existing MP4 that you made using any other recorder system, you can actually upload that video and then use those same AI generation features. But Ben had mentioned the filler word and silence detection. So for that, I would just click here, edit your video in the online editor here. And then I'll have the option to remove my filler words, remove silences, and edit my video by transcript. So this is my office with my in Hall of Her Glory back in December. But I can click here. I can actually delete portions of the transcript, and that will delete that part in the video itself. And I've got this little star button here, which will allow me to search silences, search filler words, and then delete all of those silences and filler words in 2 clicks. Or I can search for them and delete them over time, like throughout the transcript if I would like to. So that's really great if you find yourself like me using so or like as a filler word.
That's fantastic. We've had a few questions come in about the recording. People want to watch this back. So you need to register, because obviously if you just tuned in via YouTube or LinkedIn, we don't know who you are. So if you go to screenpal.theaieducator.io, you can register there and we will have your email address. And then when we send the link out tomorrow morning, because it's the evening here for me in England, so tomorrow morning you will get the link to the recording. Along with any resources that the team here send me, you'll get all of that. So if you've already registered, don't worry about that. You'll get it anyway. You're on the list, so do not worry about that at all. We're gonna wrap things up now. We're at the top of the hour. Considering we thought this might be a bit shorter, we've really gone for it, and I think that's a great testament to, I think, the value you guys have been shown, and then because of that, provoking some great discussion in the chat and some fantastic questions. We'll leave it there. Screenpal.com is where you can find out more. We've got the link in the chat if you want to jump on the beginners webinar tomorrow. Matt, thanks so much for giving up your time and talking about the philosophy and the kind of the behind the scenes impact of the tool. Sarah, thank you so much for your masterful demoing skills and your enthusiasm. And Ben, thank you for being the best chat commenter I've ever seen. Every question was answered, I think. Guys, thank you so much, and I'm got no doubt we'll see you soon. And all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, you. Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, we are at the end of the webinar. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's been great to have you with us. All I've got left to do now is announce who is the winner of the book. So we've got the question, and it came from somebody who was also kind of hosting a bit of a launch party. So Remy, that is you. So I would like to send you and whoever you were watching this with a copy of the Educator's AI Guide 2026. It's a best-selling book full of integration case studies, tools that educators are using, and some chapters about the big ethical questions that we have when it comes to AI. It's got over 100 teachers' voices in there, so really is kind of written by teachers for teachers. So Remy, if you're wondering what to do, that's my email address on screen, dan@theaieducator.io, and you can email me. Let me know it's you, and we'll get those over to you as fast as possible. Lots of people saying thanks in the chat. Remy, great, thank you. Just let me know who you are, where to get in contact with you, and we'll sort that out. All that's left for me to do is to share how you can stay in touch. So my newsletter goes out, and Sarah very kindly mentioned it earlier, goes out to 44,000 educators around the world every Sunday, and includes articles, includes news from the week of AI in education, and our podcast. So if you don't get our podcast on your app, you get a breakdown of what's been happening on the daily podcast in the newsletter as well. There's that book, the Educators 2026 AI Guide, which you can pick up on Amazon very easily. But if you are wanting to lead education into this AI era, if you are a leader already, then we brought a book out last year called Infinite Education, which is all about how do we strategize around this, and it's very practical. The second half is all around tasks you can do with a team, based on design thinking and lots of other strategies to help you start strategizing, but also make an action, turning that strategy into action within your schools to help prepare your colleagues and your students for this new world that we live in. Okay, amazing to be with you all. We will send out details of when the next webinar is. It'll be not very long away, actually. In fact, we've got one in 2 weeks' time with the lovely people at Grammarly. So if you join the newsletter, I'll send out the details for you how to register for the Grammarly webinar. And I will see you then. Take care, everybody, and see you soon.